Recording this to the cloud, week 11, R678. This is Monday, March 25th, 2024. The first hour is really going to be more formative. The second hour will be more substantive. Maybe the opposite. So a little show and tell to start with tonight. What just came in the mail to my door? 2 books on ChatGPT and pedagogy on ChatGPT. So ChatGPT for Teachers, AI in the Classroom, Harnessing the Power of ChatGPT for Effective Teaching, by somebody who's named Pacifico. That's the first name, Pacifico Zanzara. I don't know. I never heard of Pacifico Zanzara, but there it is. This is more a K-12 book, and it doesn't have my top 5 rating, let's say. It's okay. Second book came in by this gentleman. His name is Stan Scrabot, not robot, Scrabot. 80 ways to use ChatGPT in the classroom using AI to enhance teaching and learning. This one, in my brief look through, has my seal of approval. So of the 2 books, unless you're definitely a K-12 person and only want K-12, I'd get this one. 80 ways. Just remember 80. Type in ChatGPT, 80 ways to use ChatGPT in the classroom using AI to enhance teaching and learning. It's just some basics, okay. So how to create flashcards with AI. How to create dummy data sets with AI. All right. What else do we have in 80 ways here? How to write a book review with AI. How to write a grant proposal with AI. Right away, Jill's eyes, oh, a great proposal. How to write SQL code, how to be a coder with AI, how to get research assistance with AI, how to expand on note-taking skills with AI, how to generate writing prompts. What else do we have here? How to do a scavenger hunt with AI support. Online discussion with AI. So again, this one has some practical implications maybe for you all. 80 ways. Very thin book, 119 pages. Okay, both are very, very thin, not that expensive, but okay, there we have it. So something you can maybe think about acquiring. That's the first thing on the agenda for tonight. Would anyone have anything similar they want to share with us? I don't want to dominate the discussion. Do you all have recent books that you bought on AI in education that you want to promote? No. Okay. A second thing for tonight, looking ahead for the rest of the semester, we have 5 weeks left in here in the semester, counting this particular week, week 11. It's titled From Conventional AI to Modern AI in Education, Re-examining AI and Learning Analytics and Different Techniques. So there are about 11 articles in a special issue of EdTech and Society. EdTech and Society is free. And if you looked at this particular issue, and I'll call it up here in a second, I'll hit my share screen, see if we can find that particular issue so we can all look at it together. I'll try this button. Okay, no, that's not the best. All right, okay. Do you see the table of contents? You can see it. So this is the table of contents for the special issue of EdTech and Society that came out in 2021 in the fall. So it's about 2.5 years old, which is really ancient in AI age. The full-length articles that are at the top are not part of the special issue. You have to scroll down a bit to get into the ones that are in the special issue. And so they have articles that are here, perceptions of behavioral intentions towards learning AI in primary school. So primary school, gender differences in cognitive load when applying game-based theory. That's the second article with intelligent robots. So the first article on primary education, second article on gender differences with robots. Third article, factors affecting adoption of AI application in higher education. an analysis of teachers' perspectives using structural equation modeling. So heavy quantitative article in the third one in higher education. So they're looking across a number of age groups, a lot of issues. The fourth article, prediction of student performance in MOOCs, massive open online courses using deep learning systems. The fifth article, automatic generation of close items for repeated testing for improving reading. So they're creating tests for reading skills, basically with AI. The next article, expert authored and machine generated short answer questions. So again, using AI to generate test questions. The next article, effects of personalized intervention on collaborative knowledge building, group performance, socially shared metacognition, and cognitive load in computer-supported collaborative environments. Well, they might as well throw every single term that you possibly can be in one article and make it as difficult for me as can to pronounce. The next article, teachable agents improves affect regulations, evidence from Betty's brain. Now, I'm not sure where Betty's brain comes from, but it's not my brain. Exploring the relationships of achievement goals, community identification, and online collaborative reflection, a deep learning and Bayesian approach. Then we have a STEM-related article in AI, and then progress challenges and countermeasures of adaptive AI, a systematic review. And that article might be the one that I read, the second from the last one, because it's probably the simplest article. It's just doing a systematic review of the research that exists out there. So I'll stick my neck on the line and say, I recommend that article, probably article 10 out of 11. The last article, I think is article 11, Bayesian classification network, network-based learning status management system in intelligent classrooms. I swear they're making it as hard as can be for me to pronounce. But let me go beyond that and see if I can, hang on. Oh. There we go. Okay, well, let's see. That's where we were, right? If I go before that, you'll see on the different articles from the first one, most of these articles were written by folks in Taiwan, a couple from Japan, a couple from, many from mainland China. If you look here, so Beijing, we've got Beijing, Taiwan, 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 Taiwan. The next article, mainland China. Next article, Taiwan. So you can see a theme here. Whoever put this special issue together was inviting all their friends from East Asia. There's one from Japan, Kyoto University, as well as folks in Taiwan from National Changhua University. Taiwan again. China against Beijing Normal University. Central China Normal University. South China Normal University, where I've been at least once I've been there. Again, we've got Taiwan. Again, Taiwan. We don't have any Korean ones here, Sung China, Shanghai, China, Taiwan, and this is the special issue itself. So I just want to give you a sense of what the articles were for this week. I'm not going to run through them and summarize them because I have not read them. They're left for you all to read. What I want to do today, and I was waiting for Bo to come if he's going to join us, but he's not here. Who was the discussant, the moderator for last week? Anyone who's here who was a moderator last week?
I am moderating.
You're moderating this week, Esther, or last week?
No, I am not yet moderating. Sorry. I am moderating in the 14th week.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to check. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So what I want to do is have a discussion of the discussion of the discussion that was in Canvas for the week. Of the articles for last week. I know Emmanuel was in there last week, and I know Esther was in there last week. So there's two of you. I don't know if my visiting scholars were in there last week, but It'd be good for us to break into two groups. I will put Emmanuel in one group and Esther in the other group, and I'll rotate back and forth. And if you could talk, Esther and Emmanuel, about the articles for last week and what you got out of them, what articles were interesting for you, what were important, then we'll take it for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and have a discussion about them. So I'm going to assign breakout groups here manually, 2 groups. I'm going to create them. Esther, that you'll be group 1, and
Yeah, sure.
we'll give you sure. And Jennifer was in last week, so Jennifer will be there to support you. So Jennifer, you'll join, and we'll just do Jill right away, and Lena will put you in group 1, and group 2, Emmanuel, Sung-Hee's autopilot, and Jang, and myself. I'll join group 2 as well for now. So Emmanuel and Esther, if you could just point out what you remember from the discussion from last week, from this past week, and what you thought was important, and where you think we didn't discuss well enough, what's left open. So I'm going to open the rooms. You can all join a particular room. I'll join group B. Will be about 10 minutes or so. Great. The others will be joining us shortly, unless they've already left. I forgot to pause the recording when we were gone. Sorry, everybody who watched a blank screen for about the last 20 minutes. Not sure if the other group will be joining us or if they've left. Maybe I need to go check the other breakout groups. 25 seconds, they'll be joining us here. There's Jennifer, okay. Lena, Jennifer, Esther, Jill. Okay, great, everyone's back, I think. So we've got a question to pose, or Sung-hee has a question to pose to everybody. But before we go to that question, I have a question to pose to everybody. What did you discuss in your breakout group, Esther?
We discussed Article 14 that was majorly talking about the MOOC program for it was about designing a MOOC on conceptual thinking, programming, and robotics. So we were trying to look at their findings. Looks like this paper was people were very familiar with it. And we had a few questions that we were asking ourselves, and we tried to find answers. But we realized it was mostly a pilot study, and because we asked about the sample, the number of teachers that they were using. Most question was on if the designers of the course had the background knowledge or particulars about these teachers that they were designing this lesson for. But because it's not evident in the article, but we agreed that it should be, we take everyone to be at the beginning level.
Now that's an article for last week or this coming week?
It's last week. We were discussing last week, right? Not the one Emmanuel has posted, the ones that we discussed online. Okay, that was also confusing. We asked ourselves what we were supposed to be discussing, and we thought we were going through
week 10 articles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you did that, right?
Yes.
Okay. That number
11 that Jenna,
I think, yeah. Okay.
Posted.
That article.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. I see it there. So what else do you guys discuss?
We spent a long time on that one.
Okay. So what we did, I called up and I can show you here, I just called up the different articles. I guess I can't show you. So I basically called to the discussion forum for the AI in education and just went through it, the AI human one. So Sung-hee has a question. Sung-hee, you want to pose that question to everybody?
Yes. I just say I always think about faculty development program. We know or many kind of teaching methods related to AI, but I always think about how faculty to apply their classroom. Yes, that's what I talk about.
Okay, we can put that in the chat. If anyone has an idea of how faculty, we could create a Padlet too. Bo's not here, so we don't have the Padlet up tonight. But in the chat window, how can we get faculty to adopt, adapt, utilize, try out any of these technologies in their classroom? So what are ways in which faculty might be incentivized or trained or encouraged to utilize all the technologies we've mentioned? So we got 3 ideas so far. Modeling, early adopter modeling. Mentors, they can ask questions when they get stuck. So having a help desk or a mentor desk or a forum of mentors.
Or even more informally than that. So, just back when I was teaching, I lucked out and one of my neighbors was an early adopter. So I'd just pop next door and see what she was doing. And then she'd show me how to do something and I'd go back and try it. And if I got stuck, I could pop next door again. But not everybody has that. And then, there are the educational technologists for the district, but you have to kind of know who they are and who to call and that they're available. I was late in my career before I realized they would come and visit my classroom and kind of watch me do a lesson. And then, yeah.
I mean, they're paid to do that. That's their job.
Well, yes, but in a big district, knowing who's who and who to call and all of that, it sometimes gets lost.
When you said your neighbor, your work neighbor or your
Yeah.
house neighbor?
No, my work neighbor, my classroom neighbor.
Okay. So we got a couple ideas in here. I'm sure there's many more. Let's keep going here. So how do we get faculty to adopt them? Well,
time to experiment too, because even if they sit through a presentation by an educational technologist or something like that, then they still need time to practice and feel confident with it before they introduce it to the class.
and sometimes you don't feel confident unless you've tested it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe shared your test with somebody else. You got feedback from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So having a go at it, I guess the British would say have a go at it, right?
Yeah.
The Aussies would say that too. So
a test run, yeah.
You know what?
A test run.
Test run, yeah. Beta test. In America, we call that beta test, right? Everything's beta. Pilot test, right? In China, the pilot test is 35,000 teachers. In America, the pilot's 35 teachers. It's different size pilots, but we have a go at it. Okay. So, Jill, interpret for us.
Yeah, because I think as a faculty or also the teachers in any levels of schooling education, I think the most important task for educators or teachers or professors is to ask questions instead of just give students knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, so I think AI could be a very useful tool for us to probably brainstorm or generate the so-called good questions, which is also the goal of the SMILE project, right? Because a lot of people, such as SMILE projects, do similar things. They don't really give learners knowledge. They probably want learners to learn how to develop questions. Yeah. So this is what I'm really interested in.
So how can we give people some responsibility without overstressing them out? How can we give them somewhat high profile without making them, get nervous and so forth in front of everyone else? So, what are the low risk, high hit rate, effective for teachers to integrate their technology in their classrooms?
I think my submission is very subjective because for some of us, we have really learned the hard way. I don't know if the hard way can help everyone. Like imagine if everyone's job required people to at least understand or incorporate AIs in their teaching. Ideally, every professor would have to find a way of knowing that. And actually, personally, that's how I learned, because last week there was a question that asked about people's experiences and how they got to learn how to use the different platforms, different spaces online. And personally, you start from scratch, but there must be a kind of motivation, and that motivation can be both positive or negative. Like if they said everyone has to learn something, you have to learn this particular skill for you to teach, because this is where the education system is going. Ideally, everyone would have to learn that. So enforcement is very important because we get to do the things that we are comfortable with. I teach the way I am comfortable. I am so comfortable with the didactic way of teaching. And if you don't push me, probably my students will never learn anything. And I'm teaching pre-service teachers. If I don't model these lessons for them, they'll not learn. But I need that kind of push to get there. It's a requirement, so I have to do it. But it's the hard way.
No, it sounds right. It sounds like a great way. And another way is just 80 ways. You know, these are simple things that teachers can relate to. You can give them this thin book, costs hardly anything. You know, district could just pass this out to all the teachers and say, here's 80 ways. Why don't you find one or two? You know, let's talk about one or two. You know, don't have them memorize the book. Just have them locate something that's doable, you know, and then share one or two that are doable with their departmental colleagues, and then have the department come back and say, hey, this is what we tried out in our department, in the math department. This is what we tried in the English department. This is what we tried in art, you know, and that way you're not putting the onus on one teacher. You're telling the whole department, well, come up with a couple of things from here that you might want to try during the year. You don't say tomorrow, don't say next week. Give them a few weeks, give them a few months. Don't stress people out. Stress people in, I guess, you know, encourage them to join in, and then maybe have something optional saying, okay, this is 80. We'd like to get to 100. Maybe some of you can suggest 20 more strategies, and everybody who suggests one of the 20 additional will get Amazon gift card, or will get, you know, whatever, you know, incentive or a badge or something like that. So, you know, so those are ways to go beyond, you know, without stressing people out. Someone, Jill, had your hand up, Jill?
Yes, because I have a question for Sanghi, because I know Sanghi is the expert of problem-based instruction, PBL, right? Problem-based learning in medical school. So I'm curious and wondering if professors in medical school really pose questions or difficulties for students to solve, or just give students the answers, the knowledge. So do you think it's a good way for professors in medical schools to develop the questions with the assistance, the help from the AI to generate the questions or problems for students to solve? Do you think it's a practical way?
Yes, thank you for the question. Actually, I theoretically PBL is I think PBL is good for students to develop. People think creative or find some solution to problem, but faculty, there are more effort to faculty effort. So, to success PBL in class, schools support and administration or staffs support faculty. It's a key. I think it's a key fact to success PBL in school. I think, yes. For example, if faculty involved in PBL program, or if they developed their class of PBL, then school give them some promotion or some, yes, like that. Yes, it's an effective way. Actually, I know this is not a solution, regarding to teaching methods, but it's really effect in reality. Yes.
Oh, Shishi's here. So we're about ready to start with the presentation. I just called up on my screen. I wonder if I can share it here. If I can find it here. Let me grab the windows. In chapter 14 of my free book, the chapter is on supporting and motivating resistant instructors. So if you download my free Tech Variety book, which I'm sure you've all seen, in this chapter, I've got, and I'll scroll down to where this is. Apologies for your eyes, but I've got 10 ways in here to overcome resistance and reluctance. So, look for low risk, low cost, low time activities, share success and best practices with each other, create some community building tools, like social media, have extended training and development so people can start and try out what works and what doesn't work, provide some mentors or trainers or staff that can support you when you're testing them out. Number 5, create an atmosphere of sharing, constantly sharing what you're doing and getting feedback from other people. Have colloquia, institutes, video conferences, webinars, and other events where we share what we've tried out. Maybe have the last 5 minutes of the department meeting be a sharing session. Maybe having people post in a blog they're sharing that way. And then have incentives of some kind, whether it's a grant support money, whether it's a badge or certificate, whether it's a new title, a promotion. Maybe it's new technology and upgrade computers and technology, or recognitions of some other things. Then some modeling. Modeling can happen by having a podcast show, like my colleagues and I have a podcast show. Modeling can happen in a live session. So different ways to model. This was mentioned, the first thing Jill mentioned. Mentoring and coaching, having instructors, designers, trainers who can help navigate you through the new technologies that come up. And then all sorts of external supports, organizations that you can join, and events that you can become part of. And then some models and frameworks like my Tech Variety model or my R2D2 model and so forth. So those are some things that's talked about in chapter 14. If you get my free book, you might want to take a look at. There's many more. We've got a lot of them in the window here. A number of things that you guys were talking about tonight that we could expand upon. And so I think we've lost Shishi's still here. Okay, you're still here with me, Shishi. We haven't gotten Maina yet, so she should be here shortly. So I'm going to wait a minute or two. Any last comments before we switch over to Shishi and myself? Or questions? I'm going to suggest then that we pause for a moment. Or actually, I might actually suggest I'll stop the recording and restart it. Stop the recording. So part 1, R678, week 11, March 25th, 2024. I am stopping here.